Welcome to the Sterling Healthcare Resourcing channel, where I help doctors get permanent and locum work in Australian hospitals. In this channel, I share how you can maximize your career progression and earning potential as a doctor in Australia, and skip common mistakes that can cost you a lot of time, money, and lost opportunities. In today's episode, we're going to discuss IMG moving to Australia before securing a job. I'm working on the idea that you'd only be relocating because you have been granted a long stay visa, such as a PR, whether through skills migration or a partner's visa or a business long stay visa. So you have full work rights, and that's why you would consider relocating before you find a suitable position. Or sometimes because these visas have expiration date or due to personal circumstances, you need to relocate even though you don't have a job secured. The ideal situation for anyone who's looking to relocate, you uproot from one location and try to resettle in another, is that you have your full visa that allows you to work. You would have a job offer and you have a set date to start your job. This takes a lot of stress out of the relocation process and allows you to have that peace of mind knowing that what you're going to do later as soon as you land. The reality is that's not always the case. The ideal situation doesn't really pan out for a lot of people. Even though having everything lined up, things can still fall apart in the last minute, and that has happened where candidates get a job pulled after having quit their job, packed up, and is pretty much ready to leave. The job offer gets pulled in the end. That happens. You still make the move because you have been granted a visa, and you try to make the best of it once you land. So what happens when you've relocated and you have no job? Having full work rights, that's already taken the burden off the shoulders for a lot of employers, because employers can't just hire foreign workers. They must meet certain criteria, but because you don't fall under foreign worker, it makes it a lot easier for an employer to entertain your application. So what you will need to do is you need to apply directly for jobs, apply for positions more junior than your current level, apply for positions across the country, and see how those applications turn out. The idea is to cast your net wide and see which application comes back with an interview request. At this stage, you don't want to pick and choose. You just want to see who comes back and then go from there. Work towards your AMC Part 2. Assuming you've only got AMC Part 1 completed, you've got your English proficiency set forth by APRA, take your AMC Part 2 when possible. Less supervision requirement because you fall under provisional registration if you achieve AMC Part 2. That will make it more attractive for employers to look at you as well. AMC Part 2 will make you eligible for provisional registration. Having full work rights and provisional registration eligibility will make you a more attractive IMG for prospective employers. Another way to boost your current profile is to stay relevant in your field. You need to get yourself observerships. From there, network, gain exposure, and familiarize yourself with the Aussie work setting. Hopefully, from the observership, you're able to get a reference or maybe two so that you have local Aussie references as well. Pick up some CME, continuing medical education, or CPD, continuing professional development. Do courses when possible. Potential employers will want to see how you've kept up with medical education while you've been away from your field. You'll be incurring a gap in clinical practice from the day you stop practicing. You need to stay relevant, and you need to show initiative that you are staying relevant and you want to get back into the field. Doing all these suggested items will help better your chances. Now, the above items that was just mentioned also applies to doctors who are currently on student visa. I come across a lot of IMGs that will come to Australia on a student visa, either come themselves or relocated to family, and pursue a master's, and at the same time applying for jobs because they're eligible for limited registration or provisional registration. I think under a student visa, at the moment, there's limited hours per week that they can work. Given that they're onshore, it may or may not play a role in the application process. Some may have the idea that it's better to be in Australia and that might be easier to land a position. I do not necessarily agree with that. I know a lot of doctors that did exactly that and have no luck with a position. After years of searching for a position, and they still haven't been able to land a job. I will always be on the side and suggest that if possible, find a job while you're abroad first. Until you absolutely have to relocate for whatever reason, then do so. Once your gap from clinical practice gets too long, you'll need to consider going back to your last place of employment and get back to clinical practice ASAP. Personally, I see too many IMGs in this unwelcome situation, flying in and out of the country every few months to maintain clinical practice while while continuing to search for a job in Australia. That's the reality that I see a lot. Maybe it's because we are an agency. From that perspective, anyone looking for a job would try to contact us and see what we can do for them. In today's job market, it's really hard for an agency to represent a doctor coming from a non-comparable system without any Aussie experience. That also depends on the experience and the level of the doctor. Applying for jobs can be a tough process in any industry sector. We must have the right qualifications at the right time and beat out hundreds of applicants. Regardless, we gotta keep doing it. You keep applying and stay relevant. All the best with you securing a position. If you have questions about finding work in Australia, leave me a comment below. You're welcome to book in a free consultation with myself by clicking the link below or visit sterlingresourcing.com. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode with your friends and colleagues. If you're on a podcast, leave me a review to help this show reach and help more doctors. Thank you for tuning in. Hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you next time.